Hello and welcome to another episode of Anchoring Hope, where we are shining the light in these last days by interviewing amazing people like my brother Chris. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's always good to be here with David. It's always a pleasure. Brings me a lot of joy, makes me smile, which is always a good thing for sure.
You know, it's good to have a channel like this, Chris. I mean, if you look at the news and what's going on in the world, people are losing hope, and that's why we actually named this channel Anchoring Hope. Because if you stand fast in your faith, in the love of Jesus, you'll be fine.
That's right. That's right. Well, it'll be bumpy, but the thing is, as long as you got Christ by your side and He's there with you, and you're always talking to Him and maintaining that relationship, only good things can come your way. So, but like life does, life throws you all kinds of curveballs every single day. So as long as you got the faith in Jesus Christ and you've got that love in your heart, you can endure many different hard, difficult things in life. So don't lose sight of that. Never lose sight of that.
It reminds me of Psalm 23. When you read Psalm 23, it says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall feel no evil because you are with me.
Yes.
And you're completely right. Yes, it's a very bumpy road, but having the Lord by our side and abiding in Him is what gets us through, right?
Absolutely. And in that particular verse, of course, it's been, it's a very well-known verse. And interestingly enough, and we're not talking about my story, those who don't know my story, but my son passed away of cancer, but at the age of 23. But when we were going through his things, and I was looking at his backpack that he had at school, and I opened up the flap, and on the inside of the flap was exactly that on the written out completely, that he had written by hand on his backpack that he carried with him all the time. And so I never knew it was there. I never knew he had that verse written out by hand. And he kept that close to him. So yeah, that's an important verse.
That's amazing, Chris. Let me give you time to yourself. I'm sorry, I feel like I know you on my legs, or will you start talking for the audience? Can you please give me your full name? Where do you live and what do you do for a living?
Sure. So my name is Christopher Cochran. I live in the United States. I live in a city called Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, actually a little bit north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. At the heart of who I am is a dad and a friend and a follower of Jesus Christ, and I have a beautiful wife that I've known since I was 16 years old, and we've been married for well over 30 years, and I have 3 beautiful children. One, unfortunately, my oldest child passed away 3.5 years ago from a deadly rare cancer. And, so that's the most important part of my life. On a professional side, I am the CEO and president of a couple of technology companies. I sit on the board for a public United States public company that does cancer research. And that's also very important because that's a part where I can be engaged in finding and helping as a board member to find cures for the most difficult cancers around the world. And so I think there's a lot of good work that goes into that. And so I'm proud to be a part of that. Other than that, I spend a lot of time on Christian's foundation, the Christian Cochran Legacy Fund, which is the Pittsburgh Foundation. And I'm blessed to be able to use that foundation to help support those who are in need, those who are less fortunate, whether that's charter schools, kids, grants. We give out scholarships. We also support young adults with cancer. So there's so many young adults out there that have cancer that do not have anyone with them to support them and help them. So we give money, we give away a lot of gift bags, we give away things that can help them along their daily life, and we give bags to say what's good about today, to remind them that every single day is precious and every day is beautiful while they're here on this earth. So that's the things that I try to spend my time. It's a very, very busy day. Every day is very busy. And but that's a good thing. So just keeping myself active. So that's me.
Wow. You know, it really, it's admiring, Chris, when you hear from somebody like you that does so many things and makes you realize that there is no excuse, right? You have to maximize your time in this world, and when the Lord is with you, He will actually maximize your impact. The foundation, did you make that? Did you found it, or is something you work for?
No, I'm glad you asked that. So the Christian Cochran Legacy Fund is something that Christian actually set up before he passed away. That's how, his foresight and how he wanted to give back in the life when he left. So he asked us to set up this foundation. So I'd say about a couple of months prior to his passing, he asked us to work with him to set up a foundation. He knew his time was fleeting, and we adhere to all the things that he wants us to adhere to within that foundation. So the foundation is run by, again, like I said, by the Pittsburgh Foundation. It's been around for 70 years. It's a very reputable foundation. I don't have the time to manage a nonprofit, so it's best that it's run by better professionals than I in that space. So that way, they manage the funds. They manage how it's, of course, we designate where those funds will go to. And we work with lots of different partners. Partners will reach out. Depends on if it adheres to what Christian told us that we should do, and we do what Christian guided us. And so, pretty amazing for a boy who knew he was going to pass away within a few months to only be thinking about others. And so, it's a true legacy, right? It's a way that. It's the way to live a life. I always talk about Christian who always led a purposely driven life. He was always purposely driven to serve others. And so we just continue to do that. And so that foundation is set up to serve others.
Chris, number one, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know you have overcome that, and I know that he's with the Lord. So he's actually in a way better place than you and I are. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, I'm amazed that, because you have to go through a grieving process, right? I'm amazed that the fact that your son passed away didn't mean that his impact passed away too. In fact, his impact is a lot bigger now. Look all the lives that you're touching through his wishes, the stuff that he left behind. How old was he?
So he was diagnosed August 26th of 2020. He passed away September 1st of 2021. So about 1 year he had the disease. So he was 22 when he got the disease. He died when he was 23. It just really recently had died. He had just been 23. So so he was with us for a year when he got the diagnosis, when he got the terminal diagnosis.
Cancer is a horrible thing. My mom passed away from cancer when I was 3 years old. She was 33 years old. And so she left 5 kids and a broken husband. But unlike you, my father didn't take it like you're taking it. My father took it in a way that, the best of my knowledge, because my father is already passed away and he was a wonderful man. But at the time of this, he took it against God.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that.
Yeah, sure. Probably most.
When you're hearing people like you, I feel like, Lord, it's amazing that your healing power can come over us, because despite the fact that we know that our loved ones are in a better place because they knew the Lord, still a huge emptiness in your heart, and you try to figure out why, and your carnal mortal body is crying out, why? Because we don't have those eyes of eternity that the Lord has, where we know that this is just the beginning. The Bible says that life is but a mist,
right?
That today is here and tomorrow is gone. Nobody knows how much time we have.
Correct. Right. Exactly. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, right? We're all just camping. That's all we're doing right now. We're on a camping trip. We are not home yet, but listen, for your father, God bless him. A lot of people, and I can see that, right? Because when I lost my son, I think for the first year, I was a very lost soul. It's not that I ever left God. I knew God was always with me, And I never want to portray the fact that I came out as glorious, and it was that I always had this incredible faith. I mean, I always loved Christ. I've been a follower of Christ since I was a little boy, and but to say that I wasn't angry, or that I didn't ask those questions of why, or struggle immensely, I did, and I still do, in a way, because I can't help it. I'm a human being. I'm stuck in this body that gives me emotions, and that's just the nature of what God gives us. So, but I always tell people, I maintain a loving, trusting relationship with Jesus Christ. I think it's important to talk to him in those private moments, express my hurt, my disappointment. It's less about hurt. I think that one thing that I think we struggle with, grief in particular, and this just may be my case, but those who are listening may be able to relate. It was less about anger, more about disappointment. And so disappointment became my drove me into the anger part, right? Because when you are disappointed, when you believe in something and you love someone so much, and all this can happen to you, when you can witness the things that me, my family, and I witnessed, and what cancer does to the body, and what we witnessed and what we saw to the very end. But with that being said, I've come to understand, I think, much better, how Christ operates, and understand that, there is a purpose to the things that we go through, this form of suffering and pain and all those things. And the more you read and you learn about Jesus Christ, the more you dive your head into the scriptures, the more you read and try to educate yourself, the more you realize you're not in control. You understand it clear. There's a much clearer picture.